We're talking about this cultural thing, right? And it's actually a really, really big deal right now. Such a big deal that, well, Miss Netherlands, I've showed you this one before, right? Who just won that pageant over in the Netherlands, was not originally a Miss. And so over in Italy, they're kind of looking at this and going, we don't think so. Like, this is not happening to us. Like, we're not, And I would just say, brava to Miss Italia. This is the headline out. Newsweek reporting that Miss Italy won't allow transgender competitors. Must be female, woman from birth. Like I said, brava Italy. They get it. You know what? Here's the problem with all this. The competition is meant for women. I realize there are a lot of people that don't like beauty pageants in general. I mean, I actually put myself through school at Columbia University thanks to a check from the Miss America organization. So I have my own bias on that front. I think that they actually do a lot of tremendous good and they help a lot of young girls. At least they used to, right? Because now we're in an environment where I get it. The feminists hated it so much. Well, what better way to make the whole thing totally irrelevant? You just open it up so it can now be men dressed as women competing. I mean, that actually happened in one of the Miss America local pageants, and it was a rather heavy set boy. And I say boy because he was dressed in drag, and I think there's a distinction, right? He hadn't gone through the transition. Most of the time was identifying as a male and then competed as a female and somehow won the thing. Well, who the heck wants to go back in? Who, as a woman, as a young girl, would you really want to be competing against a man dressed as a woman? No, because it makes sort of a mockery of it. And I say that with empathy to anybody who's going through these challenges and feels like they are in the wrong body. I had a makeup artist at Fox, actually. This actually was Bloomberg, who identified as a male, full-on male, except on the weekends when he competed in pageants. And there was some Miss Trans USA or something pageant. And you know what? He actually won. He had a big title and he was very excited for that. But that was just when he was on his downtime. Okay. And again, I think there's a distinction. So right now it's just gotten so murky and, anybody can do anything because that's just the way it is, right? Hey, if you were a biological male, but you somehow feel like a female today, even though you haven't gone through the operation and all the horrid stuff that you'd have to go through. Well, if you want to compete against women in women's sports, somehow that's okay. I mean, I just say, who's looking out for the women? Where are those feminists? Well, I get it on beauty pageants. They never liked the pageants to begin with. So now they really make them irrelevant and they'll make sure that women don't want to compete it. So Italy, good for you. Miss Italia is going to have to have been female from the get-go. And you know what? They're being really fair because check this out. They got a Mr. Italia as well. So you got your signorina, you got your signore, and everybody's happy in Italy. And you know what? You can have that other competition in the other lane for anybody who maybe identifies as one gender but wants to participate as that other, right? Like, that's fine. Then you're really being inclusive. If you ask me, then everybody's in it and everybody's happy. And everybody lives happily ever after. Anyway, it's crazy. It's absolutely, positively crazy. And I feel that it's so strange that one could think we're somehow being prejudiced or not sensitive enough or not empathetic enough to say, hey, wait a second, like, we got to protect the girls here too. They matter. We matter. And so as frustrated as you are, maybe, with the politicians in Washington, D.C., just remember this is about more than that. It's about sustaining your livelihood in the future because inflation is so out of control. You need politicians with responsible economic policy. And you need politicians that are going to care enough about our kids. Because they are our future. They are what matters.